everyone. Next, we have 22nd Century Group Inc. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol XXII and is the pioneering nicotine harm reduction company in the tobacco industry, enabling smokers to take control of their nicotine consumption. Happy to welcome back Chairman and CEO Larry Firestone. Welcome back to the conference today, Larry.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for having us back. And and good morning, everyone. So, welcome to 22nd Century Group. I'll take us forward. So, 22nd Century Group is traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol XXII. We're headquartered in Mocksville, North Carolina, and we're a pure play tobacco company with a unique portfolio of brands, including smoker friendly, Pinnacle, and our own VLN brands. So in the nicotine harm reduction space, we've got our proprietary VLN products, which is technology that we've developed over the last 27 years. And it's a very important technology, but that's driven itself into a proprietary 22nd Century VLN branded products, as well as something new this year, which is partner VLN products. We are the only FDA authorized low nicotine combustible in the marketplace, and we're driving to create a low nicotine content category, which would be VLNC. But the target there is to separate the low nicotine category from the standard cigarette area, much like you see light beer, much like you see low and no spirits. But we'll cover some of that as we go forward. We're vertically integrated. We've got our own manufacturing in Mocksville, North Carolina, and we do private label contract manufacturing for many brands. And we call those our CMO brands, or contract manufacturing operation brands. And so those run adjacent to our VLN portfolio, but the integration of VLN into the CMO brands has been particularly interesting, and I think will be particularly exciting as we go forward. So, and we've got other predicates and market access capabilities, but we're really poised for growth and value creation with both our low nicotine and conventional brands, and what we call the house of brands. So, and we're fully aligned with the recent FDA low nicotine mandate, which was put out in January 2025, and the only combustible cigarette that complies with that mandate is 22nd Century's VLN. So we offer a choice to the consumer with nicotine consumption. So let's talk about our growth strategies. We've relaunched our VLN product, our 22nd Century VLN product, and we've added partner VLN in the market with updated branding and marketing that we're very excited about. So we're looking to expand our footprint. We're adding another SKU, VLN Red, to the lineup, and partner brands with our CMO partners. We've built a portfolio of brands with VLN, partner VLN, and also with the CMO brands that I mentioned, with Smoker Friendly and Pinnacle, to cross-sell in the market. And so that's going to drive expansion of not only the VLN brands, but the CMO brands as well. And then we are driving to create the new low nicotine category in the market. We think that's really important, as I mentioned, to separate our products from the mainstream cigarette category so that we can bring a customer's eye to that and help them understand that they have a choice, and let them see the 95% less nicotine so they can understand the impact to their health. And then we're developing new non-combustible VLN products to widen the product portfolio. So we've really, in 2025, we came through a 2024 turnaround status. 2025, this is really a new company, and so we're set on a track to take our company forward profitably, and really develop a full, well-rounded company that has a set of products that matches the needs of the market. And so in the market, there's over 270,000 U.S. retail outlets selling cigarettes and cigarette products. Actually, I think it's like 273,000. And as we penetrate those, we'll drive increased revenue, profitability, and cash flow. That's the target market that we're going after. Let's talk a little bit about VLN, and that's our new branding. Our old branding was a little bit antiseptic, kind of clinical. We think the new branding is much more vibrant, and we're pretty excited about it. So nicotine equals addiction. It's pure and simple. Um, and so 22nd century, for over a quarter of a century, has led the nicotine harm reduction movement by offering a choice. And nicotine today is in the spotlight like it never has been before. Billions are being spent on nicotine harm awareness campaigns, TV, radio commercials, websites, conferences, healthcare restrictions. Some states you can't have surgery unless you've been proven to be off cigarettes for some period of time. The FDA, with their mandate that they just recently issued, and court ordered warnings on retailers' doors and point of sale, all identifying that nicotine is addictive. And so the interesting thing to me is big tobacco continues to keep their customers in nicotine even as they move them onto other nicotine delivery systems such as heat not burn or moist snuff or whatever. And so we're taking the tip of the spear on nicotine harm reduction, and we're the only tobacco company to offer a choice with nicotine and using our category defining low nicotine products to point out we can reduce nicotine harm. And so we provide that choice with our VLN cigarettes, which are 95% uh, less nicotine. The interesting thing to us as well is the advent of the zero and low proof spirits market. So customers and consumers, pardon me, are choosing to break the paradigm of, for example, in drinking high spirit uh, alcohol. And so if you go to go to a cocktail party and you want a mocktail, it's it's very it's available now. And so this is a growing part of the business. And so it's a better for you position. It's above premium price. It's domestic and international relevancy, and it really augments the traditional spirits business. So instead of looking at it as a competitor or encroachment on the business, it's really accessing those customers that they couldn't get. And that's the way we sort of look at VLN and its partnership with regular tobacco. So, and another interesting thing is this is a rapidly growing space. This is 5 years ago. This was not a space. Now it's a space, and it is segregated, so it has its own category. Pardon me. And it's expected to grow to 85 billion by 2033. The interesting point about that is $85 billion is the size of the U.S. Tobacco market, cigarette market. So a little bit of parity there, and we sort of look at the low proof spirits business for marketing alignment and customer alignment as well. So our VLN products plan is we are the first and only low nicotine combustible product authorized by the FDA. And so we're fully aligned with the 2025 low nicotine initiative. And as I mentioned, we are driving to create the category. But our newly branded VLN is ready to ship. And there you see a small section of it down there with the gold and the menthol. And this is really how we're starting to go to the market. A little more vibrant, a little more attention, and I'll show you some more examples of our marketing here as we go. But it certainly has a different look and feel as customers go into the retail store and look at the cigarette aisle. And our smoker friendly VLN is that's our first partner. That's our first what we call partner VLN, and it's ready to ship as the states approve. So we've got our new marketing collateral and approach. We've got our newly branded VLN, and it's ready to ship as states approve. And smoker friendly VLN is ready to ship as states approve. So this is a very, very exciting platform to launch from. And here's our partner VLN. So this is building the portfolio and the category. And so we're leveraging, what we realized is going to the market with VLN and just going at the market with VLN. If we have the partners brand equity in their existing brands, so with Pinnacle and Smoker Friendly and other brands that we're talking to as well, um, and that becomes a tuck in to their product portfolio. Access to the market is more straightforward, and also access to their customers, so they can see a VLN product on the market in their style of retail. So we're leveraging our CMO brands and distribution for example, Smoker Friendly has 350 of their corporate stores, and then of course we're doing it with Pinnacle as well, and so we expect the VLN product portfolio to grow into the market. And this is just a few examples of some of the customers that we're working with, customers that we're talking to. And so they ride along the traditional VLN in the market. This is an example on the left. Pardon me for a second. This is an example on the left of what we consider the VLN category, or the VLNC category, which would feature our VLN on the top, smoker friendly VLN in the middle, and Pinnacle VLN on the bottom, and or other VLNs as we insert them. So this is pretty exciting to us, because what it really does is characterize the opportunity for the consumer to take control. And then we have, other marketing collateral, change mats. At the bottom, you see with that red bar is a garbage can wrap around at a gas station, floor mats, things to catch the consumer's attention, so that we can, introduce the product, introduce the concept. And then also we're working with the store leadership, so that they're trained on the product, and they can introduce the product appropriately. So we have a training program that we go through with them as well. Distribution wise, we've had 5,100 retail stores across 26 states, including the largest markets in the country. And with very reputable brands, retail brands out there. And as I mentioned, there's 273,000 out there. So we're really at 2% of the way to the target in the market. As we see it, as I see it, as we see it, there's no reason why VLN and the partner VLNs shouldn't penetrate their way in throughout the whole universe of resellers of tobacco products in the U.S. And so in the past, what you see at the top is we had stopped at 26 states with the original VLN. We are registering in all 50 states. So we're going to be 50 state registered for VLN and for the partner VLNs, so that we can take it to every state in the nation, take it wide, and have access to all 273,000 retailers. It is a long road. It starts with state approval, then it goes to selling the retailer. Then once we get the retailer bought in, then it's selling into the store, and then rate of sale kicks in. So it's we sort of look at this as the beginning of a locomotive starting. It'll start slow and pick up momentum, and then as we go, it'll just be incrementally growth and accretive to the financials. Now I'm going to introduce another brand, another product. This is smoker friendly, and they have just introduced what they call smoker friendly black label. And this is exciting for us because smoker friendly, they've developed this over a couple of years. They identified a spot in the market for a natural cigarette. And so this is smoker friendly black, and what you see is the king size in the hundreds here. And it's an additive free, it's a kind of a natural cigarette, additive free, tobacco and water only. It's premium American blend, and it's made in the USA at our factory in Mocksville, North Carolina. And for consumers who want a natural cigarette, this is a price alternative, and I'll explain that here in a sec. But the identification was one of the strongest brands in America is Natural American Spirit, and the volume that they sell is over 25 million cartons annually, and its brand rank is number 6. And so it's in over 220,000 outlets in the U.S. out of the 273,000 outlets. And its wholesale price, so the price out of manufacturing into retail, is $90 a carton. Smoker Friendly is able to offer a similar cigarette at $45 a carton. So as Big Tobacco has been raising their prices quarterly, it's getting pretty hurtful for the consumer to continue to pay up. This I think is maybe number one as far as the most expensive cigarette in the U.S. market, domestic cigarette in the U.S. market. And so what Smoker Friendly identified as an opportunity to come in with a value-driven brand at the same quality as Natural American Spirit. So as the economy, and we're all living in this economy where things are changing, prices are going up, consumers will have an alternative to what they're currently been used to. So as Smoker Friendly's volume grows and their penetration grows, ours does too, because we're the manufacturer. So this has been launched, and Smoker Friendly has had good traction in the market with it so far. So let's talk about our R&D for a second. We've got key areas of focus. We're right now VLN is only available in king size, so we're going to add 100 millimeter VLN to our lineup, and that'll come out in 2026. We're also, our R&D roadmap is set. So we're also working on non-combustible low nicotine product extensions, and we've got a partnership with North Carolina State University to develop low nicotine tobacco improvements, disease resistance, and other strains, so that we can continue to develop the brand, continue to develop the blends as we go forward, and continue to refine, the future of VLN. And we do have our VLN tobacco, and all the technology around it is patented by us, and so we'll file new patents as appropriate, as we see in the countries where we see them appropriate. On the financial side, here you see we went through our valley in Q4. As we, I think we talked about this quite a bit in 2024 as we worked our way out of the negative margin filtered cigar business, and we've seen those customers come back, and they've come back in a profitable manner. So we've come through the dip, and we're starting to grow, and we're bringing the top line up, and we're bringing the gross profit line up, and also I'll point out that our operating expenses hit the lowest since I've been here, at under $2 million in the quarter. So we keep working our way to break even, and we're going to get there in Q4. The other notable thing is we've taken our debt down to 3.9 million, and that debt was, I want to say, it was north of $20 million when I first joined. So we keep chipping away at that, and working our way down. And I see the way to looking in the future to a debt-free 22nd century, and that's pretty exciting for me. So in summary, we've initiated our growth platform. We've rebooted the company. Like I said, this is the beginning of a new company, and so we've put the turnaround behind us. We're not really focusing on that anymore, and we're focused on the future, which is very exciting. And so our VLN product strategy is solid, and we're in the market. We're talking to the market. We're working with retailers, and as soon as states get approval, then we'll be moving the product on that path. And then the VLN product portfolio, including the partner VLNs, that's very exciting. So we're taking a portfolio and we're widening it with partner product extensions in areas where they have access to their markets in a very natural way, and also with their retail staff, they can bring the product forward very, very effectively. And as I mentioned, we're fully aligned with the FDA's low nicotine mandate. We've the low nicotine mandate has a bandwidth of, I think, 5%, and our 95% low nicotine fits right smack in the middle of that. And we're the only ones that have it. So there's a lot of activity going on around that in the market, but we're not depending on it, but it would be nice to have if they get that pushed through. And then the potential of a low nicotine content category, I think that would be outstanding to really point out the opportunity to control your nicotine. And then the continued development of low nicotine strains, that's exciting for us because flavor profiles change. Of course, weather changes and crops change. It's an agricultural product. So the more variety we have in our low nicotine tobacco, then the more we can offer different varieties, and maybe even for some other countries as their tastes and flavors are different than ours. Growth in the CMO business, smoker-friendly Black Label is a great example of that. We are very excited about Black Label, and we're cheering on smoker-friendly, and we're cheering on the initiative in the market to go into that space for the natural cigarette. The improved balance sheet, I mentioned we're down to 3.9 million. We're putting together our plans to eliminate that as we go forward. And then we're still targeting break even in Q4 of 2025. And our keys to success now are state approvals, driving points of distribution, and then eventually it's rate of sale. So we can get it put out there, but we got to get the customers buying it. And that's where all that marketing cycle really runs itself through. And I think that is it.
All right, Larry, are you ready for some questions?
I am.
Great job. All right. So wonderful progress. Your company's been focused on nicotine harm reduction for over a quarter of a century. Wow. Important work there. So explain a little bit about the significance of nicotine reduction to a smoker. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah. Nicotine can stay in your body between 1 and 4 days. So it literally takes hardly any exposure to nicotine through cigarettes to become addicted to nicotine. And at some point, I'll just say early in a smoker's journey with nicotine, the general smoker has given up control and their body develops the need for nicotine. And this becomes an addiction. So nicotine is highly habit forming. It's highly addictive, and creating a nicotine dependence. And so that your body starts to crave nicotine, and if you've been in a conference room where people have to exit to go have a smoke break because they're literally addicted. So nicotine reduction, to us and what we've been working on for a quarter of a century, a little more than, gives control back to the person, to the consumer. And so our VLN products have 95% less nicotine and significantly reduce the dependence on nicotine for the smoker. And this ends up giving the smoker a choice as to whether they want to smoke or need to smoke or when to smoke or if at all. So we think that's pretty important to not be dependent.
Absolutely. So, why do other tobacco companies not embrace a nicotine harm reduction plan such as your 22nd Century has? Why do they not?
Yeah, this is a great question, but I think the answer is laying right out there. The tobacco industry really depends on nicotine in their products to develop customers who are addicted to nicotine, and therefore they
Mhm.
develop the need to smoke, and that creates the cycle. Um, I could put a parody out there to regular coffee drinkers who have a difficulty maybe stopping drinking coffee, or they go to decaf and they might get a headache for a couple of weeks. Um, Coffee stays in your body for about 2 hours. Nicotine, when you're at the 4 day rate, this it goes a lot deeper, and so
Mhm.
you really do create. I wouldn't call. There's some people who call their coffee habit an addiction, but they have a lot more control than they maybe they even think they do. But this would mean, if smokers have a choice, um, you know, then that kind of changes the industry. So that's why I'll call it big tobacco.
Mhm.
Um, it's focused on other high nicotine delivery systems such as moist snuff, the recent heat not burn, and others, so that they can move consumers from their cigarette platform to other ways that they can stay hooked. In fact, some brands now are being marketed and are bragging about being the highest nicotine on the market, which is, to my eyes, hurtful to the consumer. But uh, that's really,
Wow.
it's really feeding a system that's been in place for a long, long time. And so nicotine is not the enemy to those guys.
So, who are your ideal customers? Who would use a VLN product?
Yeah, it's really anyone who has a want or a need to reduce their dependence on nicotine through smoking. In other words, exercise their ability to make smoking a choice. This would mean they have the choice of how much they smoke, when they smoke, and instead of a biological, dependence. So, for example, people who need to reduce their cigarette intake for maybe medical reasons. I think of pregnant women, people who work in hazardous jobs, people who work in jobs that don't allow frequent smoke breaks. Anybody who wants to take take their habit, if you will, or their addiction, and turn it into something that's in their own control. So I sort of you know analogize it to, I know some people that smoke 3 packs a day, but I don't know any cigar smokers that smoke 3 packs of cigars a day. It's more of a casual event, or something they do to relax at the end of their night or whatever. Um, so I think it's really the difference in the amount of nicotine that they've been exposed to and how they go. So anybody who wants to change would take a shot at that.
Wonderful. Well, Larry, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers as we wrap up our time together today?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining. I got to say that the team at 22nd Century is really excited to go through the growth stage now, as I said, restarted the company, and keep track of us. We've got something here, and we're very excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And we look forward to continue on this conversation at a later time. We appreciate your time today, Larry. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Have a good
All right,
day.
everyone. We'll be right back.